Hey, hey, Sorry, guys. Hey, guys. It's Water Cooler Wednesday.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. We're so glad to have you guys here with us again for another wonderful Water Cooler Wednesday. So, this week we're going to talk all about property management. We've been doing the investment for about 4 weeks now. Now you need to know, okay, I got these properties. What am I going to do with them? How do I manage them? And so we couldn't do anything else but bring Jessica Silvers to you.
The one, the only.
The one and only. So she can make sure you know what to do. But it's me, Dion Branch, and I am now with eXp Realty. And I have my co-host Lisa. Oh,
you did it right.
right.
Right side.
Right, I get it. So Lisa White, Lisa, you want to tell them about yourself?
What they need to know about? I'm the money lady. Y'all need to know me. I'm the money house money mama right here. I got the money for your house. So yes.
Right.
I love it.
Right. So, Jessica, thank you for joining us. Jessica, you want to share a little bit about yourself and your company that you work with and what you guys do?
Okay. So I'm Jessica Civils, program director with CIC's property management company. Is there an echo? Is that okay?
I don't hear an echo, but let's see. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I work for Community Investment Corporation. We are Chicago's largest rehab commercial lender. Pretty much in the Chicagoland area. And CIC, we provide lending to small to large apartments throughout the city. And we also provide property management training, which I am the director of. So thanks for having me tonight.
All right.
Thank you for being here. We're looking forward to this and getting a lot of new information. I was telling Dion earlier today, I don't know a lot about property management at all. So I'm anticipating learning a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot to learn.
So, Jessica, I guess let's start off with COVID. So that's really an important thing that's happening right now. A lot of people have properties. What's some of the things that they need to know, I guess, really about owning a property and their tenant and what, is there anything they should really know?
Well, as you know, we're almost at the light at the end of the tunnel of COVID, right? 2020 was very interesting. In January, we had high hopes. Back in January of 2020, we had a lot of high hopes as far as investing. It's going to be a stellar year. And then we got hit with COVID, right? Stay at home order, right? You can't go outside. People can't go to work. A lot of people like to equate COVID with 2008 real estate, just turmoil, what happened, but they're totally different, right? Totally different. It's not, it's things you just can't, it's nothing that we could do. So as a property manager, what happened with investors in real estate, because a lot of people lost their jobs, right? Some had the inability to pay for rent. So again, those, especially with the smaller owners, right? These are the 2 flats, 3 flats. One person not being able to pay the rent puts you in a deficit immediately, right? Yeah. I'm not talking about those mid-sized owners who have at least 20 units or 50 units that if a couple of people decided they weren't able to pay, they would still be the management would still be okay. Your owner would still be able to do your mortgage and all those other things. But the smaller owners, right, that really hit because, again, that offset their income. Right? That means their ability to pay for that mortgage was based on that tenant paying the rent. So what happened in 2020, unfortunately, things happened. People were not being able to pay rent. it was crazy, especially in March when it first hit. People didn't know what to do. A lot of people didn't have systems in place, meaning people were still doing old school, going to collect cash for rent payments. They couldn't go to their houses. I mean, it was, it was crazy. So we kind of got them through that, right? How to do automatic bill payments, how to, communicate with your tenant. It was unreal how people weren't even communicating with their tenant. They only talked to them as needed basis, right? If something happened, then I would call them, and then so it was crazy. So we had to put a lot of systems. We had to remind people a lot of systems that were already in place. You just have to do it. I'm like, you've been doing property management. You've been managing this building. You just have to actually implement what you already know.
Right. Okay.
So the hardship came when, again, the inability to pay rent. And then people forget it's just not the mortgage payment that the owner is responsible for, right? It's the extras, meaning you have to still pay for that common area utility. You still have to do the landscaping, the upkeep. Remember this winter, we had that snow came, and one of the first things that landlords decided that we're going to let go, or I'm going to the actual maintenance, that snow removal and the actual grass keeping, the landscaping, that was the first thing that a lot of people decided that they were going to take out of their wheelhouse. I'm going to start cutting my own grass. I'll be able to shovel my own snow. Well, Chicago, hello, we had that big snowstorm. People, it was not really a good time for you not to have a landscaper or a snow removal person. So 2020 threw us through so many hiccups. I'm glad we're almost in a good space that we're almost out of it.
So, okay, say for instance, I have a property, and this is my first time in as far as property management is concerned. What are some of the things maybe that I might need to know, right? Is there I know it's a whole lot.
Well, the first thing you need to know, especially if you want to be an owner, we're just going to talk about Chicago, right? We're just going to talk about Chicago right now. Chicago has this little thing called the Chicago Landlord Tenant Ordinance that people sometimes decide they don't want to learn about. Jessica, that's legal. I don't need to know that. You do need to know that, because pretty much that's your blueprint, because Chicago is a very tenant-friendly city. It is. It's written that way. Thank Harold Washington for that, right? I married Harold Washington because that's where it came from. That's where the ordinance came from. He ran on it when he decided to become mayor. We've been living with this ordinance from there. But that back then, it's a lot of slumlords, so they needed the assistance. It made sense during that time. However, it has not been touched since then. 1986, 1982, or I think 80, 81. So it hasn't been touched, but people need to know that. Again, my whole job is for landlords not to get sued. So the first thing I'm going to tell you about, learn the ordinance, right? Take education. In real estate, you guys talk about, it's about location, location, location. In investing, it's about education, because what you don't know could hurt you, could cost you. It's in property management and becoming a landlord, an investor. It's a lot of moving parts, and it's a lot of responsibilities that people have to take on.
Right. And I think one of the big things that maybe people need to know is about their security deposit, right?
Well, security deposit, move-in fee, it's a lot of ways you can look at it, right? It's pros and cons. And the reason why security deposit, right? The good thing about security deposit is that money in case what if. But realistically, a security deposit, at the way the cost of maintenance and upkeep, and if you have to replace doors and windows, that security deposit probably won't even cover the deposit you would need to have those items repaired. So it depends on you. It takes a lot of management as far as accounting management to do it correctly, because again, that's one of the quickest way for a landlord to get sued, is then to mishandle that security deposit.
Right.
So on the flip side of that, we also have that move-in fee, right? But I don't want people to get creative with the move-in fee. The move-in fee, it's pretty much a fee that you can charge a tenant in preparation for the new rental. right? People get crazy. Well, just I'm gonna charge them a $3,000 moving fee. You cannot do that, right?
Yeah.
It needs to be justified, at least in your thought process, what that's for. Because again, we have professional tenants. Guess what? These tenants are smarter than the landlords. They know that ordinance. They know what they can and cannot get away with. They study it. It's a lot of tenant groups out here. So landlords just know that. That's not on they. You thinking they don't know? They do know.
They know. So can I do a not do a security deposit and just do a move-in fee?
Yes, you can. That's the good thing about it. If you decide to do a move-in fee, you won't be held to the ordinance. So according to the ordinance, if you do a security deposit, it has to stay in an interest only account. You have to give receipts. You have to pay interest per year. Again, the 13th month of the calendar year to be paid to a tenant, you have to pay them that interest. And if you don't, sometimes that interest is only 10 cents. You can get sued. I got professional tenants. It's professional tenants out here that know if I don't get that statement saying that my rent was deducted by 10 cents, 15 cents, or whatever, I can hold my landlord. And the penalties for that is to return this 2 times the security deposit and probably some legal fees. So it's not worth it.
Not worth it at all. Because I think one time when I took your class, we were talking about people having to pay $5,000, $10,000 just because they didn't do what they needed to do for their security deposit.
Yeah,
it's a big hit. So let's see, what else can we ask Jessica? Right. Hey guys, if you all have you're here and you have some questions for her, please go ahead and put them in the chat, because we are Jessica can answer some questions for you as well. So you have a building, you need to know how to handle things, just let us know.
So can you explain? I know and I think it was really good for me to hear that you're not only doing the portion that's training the landlords, but it sounds like you also offer a pretty good deal of support even after training.
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
I'm property management 311. I mean, I work with the city of Chicago. As far as landlords have problems, just if they call 311 and you have a landlord issue, the city sends the calls to me. That's a part of our relationship with the city of Chicago. But then in that, I don't have like mentorship programs or anything like that, but I am a resource, right? I tell people, I mean, the information is out there, and what I pride myself on, pat my own self on the back, is just to be a resource and to have all the information combined and easy for you to have access to. That's it. I'm just sharing the information that's already out there.
Okay.
So what are you seeing right now? Because, obviously myself being a mortgage loan originator, I'm in contact with renters right now. And I know some of them, have talked about either not paying or not having to pay the rent, for a period of time. So what is that looking like on the flip side of the coin for the landlord? What are resources for landlords? How are they handling all the different changes that have happened over the past year with the moratorium that's put into place and things like that? How are they handling that? Because I know for us, like you would have to probably ask, like, for example, on the residential side for mortgages, you can do a forbearance, and that could play out in a couple of different ways. I did forbearance myself last year. I was in between jobs, in between paychecks. I really was technically already working for another mortgage company, but in my field, it's going to take at least a month or two in order for you to get paid. So, because I'm commission only. So I did a forbearance for 90 days on my home. And so at the end of that 90 days, though, I had to cure, the total amount. So that was like 3 months of mortgage plus the month that was due. I mean, fortunately, I'm in a field where, because of how I get paid, I was able to do that. But I don't know how that would work, for landlords if they're not getting all this money collected like how they're supposed to. And then, are they doing a forbearance like that where they have to just all of a sudden cure all of it? How does it work for them?
Okay, 2 things happen in COVID, right? First thing, like I said, people lost their jobs, and they had the city, the state, the federal government, you know, they had to come up with some packages, right? We got the stimulus packages. We did have some rental assistance that happened in 2020.
Yeah.
And that was intended to cure, like you would say, that landlord as far as the missed payments, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of it happened, some of it didn't, right? The intention was to actually make that landlord whole, as far as to get, if you fell behind on payments, to go ahead and make those payments. That was what the emergency rental payment was designed for, right? However, the city of Chicago, they did a great job to urgently put that money out there. They gave the tenants, here's the money that you are supposed to use to pay that rent.
Right.
Did that happen? Some of it did, some of it didn't. IDA, the Illinois Housing Department Authority, right? They created the same thing with the stimulus plan as far as the emergency rental assistance. They gave landlords up to $5,000. In theory, the tenant actually should have, the tenant and the landlord, they should have created some type of workout plan, right? Because if you were on unemployment, you were getting the additional dollars per week, right? They were, I mean, it was so many stimulus packages, moving parts, that you as a landlord should have been in full communication with your tenant. If you can't pay me the full rental amount, at least pay me something. Keep that tally running. Again, because these emergency rental assistance programs, I need to know how much am I missing? What can I do to offset some of my costs? You know, as far as, you know, I might have to cut back on these few things, but, you know, to keep it going. Because unfortunately, with the eviction moratorium, right, that held the eviction. So it was no late fees, right? You couldn't charge a tenant late fees. You couldn't charge, you know, you couldn't take a tenant to court, basically, if they served them the 5-day notice. So all of that was on hold. So the thing about that, I mean, it was a gift and a curse, because if the tenant wasn't able to pay, and we're still in this moratorium now. I mean, if they're not able to pay, it was the eviction hold order. You can't evict the tenant, right? So hopefully the landlords and tenants, they should have been in communication with each other, working out that stimulus package. This is round 3 of it with the city of Chicago. They actually did earmark any dollar amount. So if whatever you put in, you just cross your fingers and hopefully you'll get some stimulus relief, emergency rental assistance relief. And the same thing with IDA. IDA gave out $25,000 per unit. You know, so it was a lot of money, and this is happening now. So unfortunately for a landlord, that puts you in a bad space, because you have the forbearance. I work for a lending company. You know, our owners were actually hurting, as far as, because their tenants wasn't able to pay. That's when that reserve is really supposed to come into play, right? When you purchase that building, you always have to have a reserve, because what if something happens? So you might not be able to you have that roof payment in case something should happen, or that boiler, or, you know, if something should happen with, you know, the exterior of the building, you should have had a reserve. That's, you know, that was really what it's designed for, in case you have to miss those payments. A lot of people are thinking like, well, it's going to be a lot of inventory out here because people are going to sell their buildings. Not so much, because they were kind of okay. At first, it was a lot of confusion, but again, it was a lot of stimulus relief, even on, because again, you're a business, right? We're in property management, you're a business. So hopefully your system was set up in place for certain type of grants, because you are a business.
Okay.
I don't know, you know, we're going to see how this all pans out, as far as, you know, what did that look like? What type of devastation happened in the city of Chicago versus, you know, the relief, devastation versus relief, to see what the outcome of that is. So, you know, well, fortunately, I hope landlords were in a position to take advantage of those. So you know, within a couple of months, they were able to function. Okay, well, I might not get the big return that I used to get, but I'm still able to maintain my mortgage, because those mortgage payments didn't go away. Our forbearances was only for a few months, and then people were to, you know, be able to capture some of that rental assistance stimulus money, and then make us whole, and then we go into our, you know, same day. We're back in business, as far as, you know, you making those mortgage payments.
Okay.
Right.
Well, what programs are out there that people could use, in case maybe they didn't know that there was a program out there? What programs, you know? that they I hope they knew. But
it's only one left. So all of them had one. That's the city of Chicago, Cook County, and Ida, which is the state. Ida still it's covering the whole state of Illinois. So it's actually still money available. Actually, the application process has closed for all three, but coming up on Monday, in case your tenant, you missed it for some reason, you didn't get the smoke signals, because we put it everywhere as far as the rental assistance being available. Coming up on June 28th, Ida is opening it up for the application to be initiated by the tenant in case for some reason they had some disconnection with the owner wasn't able to put the application in. They're giving them a second chance that the tenant can initiate the application for rental assistance. And again, that dollar amount is still at the $25,000 based on the rearage, and they're giving you future payments. That was a good thing about the city of Chicago. They were giving you, we're giving you 3 months future payments in case, something should happen. So they made you whole as far as the rearages and gave you up to 3 months future payments.
So now I got a question. Was this a grant? Or is this
no.
backable?
No, these are full grants. So no, it's it's no loans. These are pretty much, you're stating as long as, your rent rolls, they were deficient at this amount. And, it's not a loan. Yeah, these are.
If the tenant does the application this time, are they gonna send the money to the landlord, or are they gonna send the money to the tenant?
Well, with this time coming up on the 28th, it is going to be initiated by the tenant, but however, the landlord, it takes both parties to be able to complete the application. So regardless, if the landlord initiated, the tenant had to go ahead and fill out their portion to make the application complete. Now, with the tenant doing it, actually, again, that could be either an MIA, but again, it still needs the landlord to actually sign off on this, because again, they look for things like they look for ownership, right? First off, because it's Chicago, we're gonna keep it real. People want to rent out apartment buildings. I'm like, you can't rent out a rental. You have to actually own it. You have to be the owner. So. It takes two parts, even with this portion. The payment is still going to go to the landlord, again, because the goal is to make that person whole. With the city of Chicago, not only were they doing rental payments, they were doing utility payments too. So if you was living in Chicago and cable was included, Comcast was included in that. So if you had behind on your cable bill, your light bill, your gas bill, your water bill, city of Chicago was just like, you know what, we're going to try to do as much as we can, as fast as we can, to get you up to date so you can hopefully stay in your apartment.
Okay. All right. So let me ask this. Let me kind of switch the subject a little bit. So now I'm new, and is there something are there tools or softwares or things that I should know that I could use, or in order to manage my property? Is there what are the, other tools? Let's start with that. Right?
Okay. Well, the first thing you do, you need to come to my class at CICchicago.com. That's the first thing you need to do. Because again, we cover everything. We give you a pretty much a roadmap as far as what you need to do first. It's everything rolled out. And then again, the systems, that depends on you. Some people, and again, we're going to talk about outsourcing and property management and all that good stuff. So some people, after you take the class, you're going to figure out if you want to do it, because it takes people. You work with people. I don't want to deal with people. You're going to have to deal with people on both sides. Either if on the management side, you're going to have to work with the actual contractors and all the other moving parts. And then on the flip side, you're going to be working with the tenants, right? You're going to have to communicate with that. Well, Jessica, I don't want to do that. I don't feel comfortable taking rent payments. You can outsource that portion. Well, Jessica, I'm not too handy. I can't fix anything. You can outsource that part. But I believe anything under 50 units, you can manage yourself, right? You got 50 units. I believe if you do it right, you get your systems in place, you can do it yourself. Anything over that, you're probably going to need some help. That's when you bring in a management company, or you become one. I tell people with investments, either you become a general contractor or you become a property manager, right? It's natural. You're going to either fall into one of those hats. Nothing to say about real estate, folks, but I don't see a lot of people, oh, I want to be a realtor. No,
right.
They're going to either become property management or general contractor, because they're going to get fed up and say, you know what, I need to learn one of these trades. I need to learn how to fix something, because, it's crazy.
Yeah, because I know you're always calling somebody to come do something. So someone broke into our building while I was gone, and had to find somebody to come and fix the building. So there's definitely things that happen to you, even when you're there or not there. So, right. And you always got to be ready and have those connections, to help you as far as making sure that, things are resolved. Because I think one of the things is, we have our own place, and you might not want to fix the water right away, right? Like, oh, there's an issue with the water faucet, or there's a leak or something. You're like, okay, at your own home, right? But not at your rental, at your investment property, right? Yes.
Well, it's a little ordinance, and you have to fix it within a time frame. Some people, they get mad, Jessica, they didn't pay me rent. So if they didn't pay me rent, I'm not fixing nothing. Well, according to the Chicago Landlord-Tenant Ordinance, you have 14 days to go ahead and fix whatever you are managing. Whatever you are actually giving them, that means if it's a refrigerator, a microwave, is your responsibility, especially now, right? It's the summertime. Air conditioners are going out. If you're providing them with the air conditioner, and that air conditioner all of a sudden is broke, or somebody needs to come service it, it's your responsibility to do that. And the reason why I put it back on the owner, well, actually, I mean, it's in the law, it's in the ordinance, it's the landlord's responsibility, because again, if you're providing that, it's your job to fix it or replace it. But with that, you don't want other people tinkering with your stuff. Yeah. Why would you let a tenant, especially like, exterminators? I get it. Jessica, they got this. I don't want to deal with it. It's your job to make sure you're getting the right professional to do the right thing, because a lot of people do it themselves, right? Bed bugs, big one. They want to go to Home Depot and decide, I could just buy this bed bug packet from Home Depot and that'll get rid of them. That's not how you get rid of bed bugs. Yeah. It's the landlord's responsibility. It's a full bed bug ordinance. It's the landlord's responsibility to get rid of them. Unfortunately, It's part of doing business. No, you cannot charge the tenant, because bed bugs are sophisticated. You don't know where they came from. The mailman could have brought one. The maintenance guy could have brought one. You don't know where they come from. So it's the landlord's responsibility to get it. Same thing.
You can't charge the tenant for the extermination of the bed bugs?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. It's a little packet that I can share with you guys. It's called Chicago Bed Bug Ordinance, and it tells you what you do, and you have to do the Clover inspection as well. That's up, down, and across, because they're sophisticated. They go everywhere, but It's not a housekeeping thing. I just want to say that bed bugs is not because you have a nasty house. That's not how they work. They love us. They're bed bugs. They like biting on us, and they like being in the bed. Unfortunately, they come from wherever. That's why I stopped going to the movies. Believe it or not, a little story. I stopped going to the movies basically based on that, because of I have not been to the movies in years. Basically because I know bed bugs live on the chairs and this and that. So
why you don't ruin my favorite thing?
I'm sorry. Just a funny story. I'm sorry. I mean,
my favorite thing.
So now we got to get the astronauts uniform to go to the movies.
Right.
Wrap up. I'm just saying,
I'll be all hooded up now.
People are like, Jessica, let's go to the show. I'm gonna watch Netflix. I'll pay for it now.
No.
All right.
Anything, Lisa? You got another one?
It's 6:30, girl. I know it don't seem like it, because the conversation just kind of kept going, but it's 6:30.
We've been chit-chat for a long time. We like to just kind of stick it to 30 minutes. I don't know, Jessica, do you want to share with us about CIC Chicago real quick, and what you offer? Just kind of give them some information about your program so we can
Right. So you can go on our website, cicchicago.com, under property management training. Right now, we're still, everything is online. We have a library, just to let you know, if you missed the workshop, I have a library of past workshops that we had on various topics. It's all on it's all on our website. They're free for you to look at, take some notes, learn some stuff. The actual certificate class, that's our signature workshop. Our certificate class, it's available on the website as well. It's available online. So it's our 5-hour training. It's about $50, but it's so worth it. I'm super excited that starting October 1st, we will be back in person. I will finally start having the in-person workshops coming up starting October 1st. Yay. So super excited to get back to networking, get back to actually, talking to people, different engagement style than us doing behind this computer screen. So I'm excited about that. If you want to see my live, I don't know, I get 2 shots out. Tomorrow I'll be doing a live property management training. If you're a member of the Dearborn Realtors Board of Chicago, tomorrow, for members only, they're doing my full property management class. I'll be doing it live tomorrow. And then on Saturday, I'll be working with NHS, Neighborhood Housing Services of Chicago, and I'll be doing their property management training as well on Saturday morning. So I appreciate the time, you guys. This has been great. I love the water cooler conversation. So hopefully later this fall, you can invite me back.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, you're always welcome to come back. If you have some quick news you want to share with us anytime, always just let us know. So, yes, Jessica, thank you for joining us. Don't leave just yet. But we want to thank everybody. If you have questions for Jessica, you can always attach them to this video. And later on, and we'll always make sure Jessica gets the information, and you can always reach out to her. Again, my name is Dion Branch, and I work with eXp Realty. And if you're interested in purchasing property, buying investment property, single family homes, anything, just let me know. All right. And then I'm going to send you over to Lisa, because
you got the wrong side this time.
I did it.
There you go.
I'm gonna stop pointing, and then now we won't have this problem. But I'm gonna send you over to Lisa, and Lisa's gonna get us ready for our lending, right, Lisa?
I surely will.
Right. Let it be investment property, or if you're purchasing a single family home, we are here for you to serve you. So thank you, guys. I want to give a final shout out to my soror, Uppity Zeta, for giving me these wonderful glasses. So if you're looking for these glasses, check out Uppity Zeta. So again, lovely Wednesday, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Janita.